Welcome to In the Spotlight. I'm Shirley Lin. Today, my guest is Richard deVries, who is Managing Director of Geber Brand Consulting. So let's meet Richard. Hi, Richard.
Hi, good morning, Shirley. Thank you for having me here. Very excited to talk to you.
All right, so am I. All right. Now, so you're originally from Canada,
Yes.
right? All right. And you've been here in Taiwan for 15 years.
That's correct.
All right. Well, before we go on to learn about you and your life, I believe you have a story to tell that has made an impact on you. You want to start telling that story?
Sure. Thanks, Shirley. So, yes, as you mentioned, I'm from Canada, and my story, I suppose, is how I decided to come to Taiwan. Now, before I get into perhaps my background a little bit more, before I came to Taiwan in 2000, I lived in Vancouver. And I worked in chemical sales, B2B sort of business, marketing. And while it was fun, I saw so many people and so many great things coming from Asia, especially Taiwan.
Oh.
Yeah. So, a lot of our competitors, a lot of our customers were from here, and it's just a very happening place at that time, especially.
So how old were you when you first heard about Taiwan, this name?
Well, I'm a political science major, originally from University of Waterloo. So originally I heard about it in a political sort of context.
Yeah. Really? Okay. All right, we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go on with the story.
By 2000, I was already in Vancouver, and I was 26 or 27 years old. And just like a lot of people in North America, after university, we work for a few years, and then we decide, while this is interesting, there must be other things out there. We maybe want to travel, see different places. And for me, because also of my history of knowing about Taiwan and the history a little bit, I decided, Asia might be the way to go. So what I did is, this was at the beginning of the internet bubble, just before it broke. So this was like the Wild West time of the internet. And there was a lot of new websites. There was one that was called skyauction.com. Now, I'm not sure if they're even open anymore because, all those things.
A long time ago.
A long time ago. But I went online, and they had tickets that you could bid for. Now, this one was for a trip, a one-way ticket to Asia. Mm-hmm. So for interest, I just put a bid on there for a few $100s, and I was watching it. And at that time, I wasn't really planning to leave Canada, but I just did it for interest. So after 24 hours, I kept looking, and I was at the top. And I'm still at the top. In a few hours to go, I'm still at the top of the list for my bid. And I'm like, oh my God, I might get this ticket. So eventually, wow, bam, I got it. And then you could choose which country. So it was a one-way ticket to East Asia. And because of what I heard, I picked Taiwan.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that was meant as a one-way ticket. I came over here, and I was planning originally just to stay for 1 year. But actually, like so many foreigners in Taiwan, ended up really liking it, and then said, okay, 1 more year, and then 1 more year, and then 1 more year, and now it's 15 years.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. So what's the motto of the story? What did you learn about the bidding part? No.
Well, that's one thing. The motto is,
right?
I guess, be careful what you bid for, because it might change your life, right? You might end up going somewhere and staying there forever.
Yeah, it could either change your life for the better or for the worse. But in this case, it was for the better, right?
It was for the better, because now, now I'm married, have 2 kids. My wife is Taiwanese, and been in Taiwan since.
There's something about foreigners, come to Taiwan. I mean, originally they said they were just going to visit, and then they end up falling in love with Taiwan, and then they stay on. And like you, from 1 year, 2 years, 3 years to now 15 years. What is this? I mean, I don't know. In some ways, I want to say I'm envious, because I think that's how the Western culture is. You guys are so open-minded. You guys can just, pack a suitcase and just pack up and go, and just go. And then you just go from one adventure to the next, one place to the next. And that's just so not Chinese, ethnic Chinese kind of way of thinking. I don't know.
Well,
do you agree?
Somewhat I agree. However, even chatting with you before we started filming, how your history, you spent a lot of time overseas as well, right?
Well, I'm an exception, I think.
Well, not all Canadians or not all Westerners are this kind of travel oriented as well. So, but we do like to travel after university, and I do see a lot of younger Taiwanese people also doing the same kind of thing these days as well.
These days, yeah, I think I agree. Yeah, that's changing, so for the better also. Right. Yeah, that's good. Did you grow up in a big family? Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
What kind of family background you're from?
Right. Well, yeah, I have 3 younger sisters.
You're the oldest?
I'm the oldest. I'm the only boy, and I'm the oldest. I'm the guga in the family. Mei, right? And my father actually immigrated from Holland, Netherlands, before I was born, and my mom is from Canada. Now, I grew up in a small town in northern Ontario. So in the winter, it can be minus 30 degrees Celsius. And in the summer, it could be plus 30, plus 35. So there's a huge range. Yeah,
I can imagine that kind of cold weather down in the minus degrees.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of variety there in the seasons. And it's a great place to grow up. But once you're a little bit older, 18 or so, it is kind of our custom that everybody leaves home when they're 18 to go to school.
Yes, I've heard about this. It's, the way my friend put it, it was like, you turn 18 and then your parents go, okay, you want to go to college? You want to get married? You can find a job? Okay, you're on your own. Bye.
Right. Yeah, it's like the bird kicking their baby chicks out. And, my father would say, okay, when you're 18, you have to go. And it was only kind of half joking. That was very different because now I have a young daughter, and for me, I'm saying, oh, she can stay at our house till she's 30. That's fine. So maybe I'm becoming a little Taiwanese.
Oh, okay. So I guess your wife would rather wait until the kids are older before, delay the time when they go.
Well, definitely, I do see that there's a lot of positive aspects to this type of culture as well. The different generations living together, it's really good. But so when I was 18, then I moved down to southern Ontario, which in Canada is quite far away, about 5 or 6 hours driving, and went to school at University of Waterloo. And actually, originally, I studied civil engineering, but I just found that engineering wasn't my thing. I liked dealing with sort of people or kind of the social sciences. I enjoyed that much more. So after my first year, I switched over into political science and economics.
Okay. Why did you take up civil engineering? Was it a suggestion from your dad or what?
Well, kind of. In high school and elementary school, I guess I was pretty good at math and sciences. And just like in Taiwan, your parents will guide you towards engineering and these kind of areas if you're not bad at it. So, and also I thought I was going to enjoy that myself, but that's another thing.
Was that your dad's major, civil engineering?
No. It was just what I thought I was interested in.
Oh, I'm finding more similarities between Chinese parents and or Taiwanese parents and Western parents now.
Right.
That actually Western parents can give pressure or expectations on their kids just as much as Taiwanese parents apparently. And I kept thinking that it's only one-sided, that it's only the Asian parents that have very, very high expectations of their children, because that's how my dad was, for me. So then you realized your interest was actually in political science and economics.
Right.
Why?
Yeah. Well, it just I became more interested in things such as philosophy, psychology, sort of what makes society or what makes things work, but not how things work, but how the world works. And for me, I found that economics and psychology and political science, these things were more towards that area.
Oh, Well, I'm embarrassed to say that I actually majored in economics too. It was double major math and economics, but
Right.
yeah, that's as far as I'm going to say.
Yeah, so anyways, after that, and then my three younger sisters, they
also picked up and left
They
when
also
they turned
left as
18.
well.
So it doesn't matter whether you're a boy or girl. You know, at 18, you're supposed to leave home and you're on your own.
Right.
You made your way through college too? You earned the money to pay for college?
Yeah, so actually that's quite common there as well in Canada, is that people will have part-time jobs as they're working. So I worked in a lot of different industries while I was in university. Worked at stores, you know, kind of like B&Q, those kind of stores.
You didn't wait on tables?
No.
You didn't do that?
No.
Okay.
I worked as a roofer, like doing roofing, up on the...
Mending roofs?
Yes. Yeah, it's a very difficult job. Very physical.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And also as a mover, you know, helping
Yes.
people move their houses. All these kind of more manual style jobs. And, you know, on one way it's actually good because it makes you appreciate getting an education more, you know, so you
Yes.
can get a cushier job.
I agree. But you chose all these like manual work, like you said. You figure that it's like, anyway, a free way of building up your muscles. It's sort of like a workout for you.
Well, it was kind of a workout.
Bodybuilding.
But yeah, and also those kind of jobs, some of them would pay
better.
Pay better.
Ah.
You know, they don't require you to stay a long time. So because I was studying at the same time.
Uh-huh.
So, you know,
Okay.
due to a lack of choice in some ways, yeah.
But wait, this was all while still in Canada.
Right, in
Okay.
Waterloo.
Right. Okay, Waterloo.
Yeah, and then after that, after I graduated, I actually started working at a chemical company, doing, it was kind of a business to business, sales and marketing. Right. So if you study political science or economics, it's actually rare to go into those kind of fields. I was more interested on the business side of things and started doing that in Toronto before I picked up and I went out to Vancouver.
Okay. So I'm curious, what did your sisters end up doing?
Yeah, that's interesting because I guess we do have in our family maybe a gene or something that makes us want to move. Because my father moved all the way from Holland. Most of his brothers also moved from there to North America as well a long time ago. And then my three younger sisters all live in America.
Oh, now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they all live at different parts of America. So we're all pretty much, the closest one to my parents is a few thousand kilometers. So we're all very far. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you live in America too?
No, I didn't.
No, okay. No. So, all right. So after Canada, you came straight to Taiwan.
Right. So when I went out to Vancouver, I lived there for a few years, and that's when I bought the ticket. You know, I decided to pick up, and one day I just called my parents, and they asked, "Oh, what's new?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm going to move to Taiwan," and they were just like, "What?"
Have they at the time have they heard of Taiwan?
They did, but most people didn't.
Confuse Taiwan with Thailand.
A lot of my aunts and uncles did, yeah.
Okay. I know. We're a very, very small island in this huge, huge world, right? Yeah.
Well, Taiwan was, for my parents' generation, actually Taiwan was fairly well known for that age.
Oh, okay. Well,
because
good.
The different political situations and
really?
way back when. So Taiwan was...
so it was not because made in Taiwan.
That was another thing.
There's so many things made in Taiwan, so that's how people got to know Taiwan, but not so much in your case. So
yeah.
That was part of it, right? Well, that's so interesting. So, it's still hard to imagine you just picking up and then moving like thousands of miles to the other side of the world, literally, to Taiwan. When, how do you... I'm sure there's a lot of excitement, but then there's a lot of unknown and uncertainty. What is it that keeps you guys going? Obviously, when you said that you're going to pick up and go to Taiwan, your parents were supportive, right? And what else did they tell you? Did they give you any warnings or any advice or?
They gave me advice. I'm sure. I kind of they were surprisingly okay with it all. I guess because of my father's history of moving, and in Canada it's quite normal to move around, and they took it all very well. They said okay, and probably part of it was just that they thought I was only going for a year. So.
That's right. And you had saved up enough money to come to Taiwan and just stay for that 1 year?
Yes. Yeah, I saved up enough, and through my various jobs there and the job before I came here, I saved up enough to get that. However, I didn't have any actual plan, even where to stay.
That was my next question. What was your plan for that 1 year? You didn't really have any plan. You're just going to come and see for yourself and then decide?
Right.
That's really, really crazy, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess being at that age, you can live anywhere. You don't need to have all these big plans. If you get there, you can find a place to stay, and you're not so picky when you're 26, 27. So I just had a big backpack, and I had that one-way flight to Taiwan, and I got to Taoyuan Airport, and I got in there, and I had an idea. There was a hostel in Taipei that I wanted to go to, and so I had the address, and I got here. I thought that you could just change money at the airport quickly, but it was closed. The money changer was closed, so I was just walking around, and it was really nice. Some Taiwanese person saw that I was kind of looking a little bit lost, and he said, "Oh, don't worry about it." And he gave me the money for the airport bus to come to Taipei. I'm like, "Oh, no, it's okay." But he's like, "There's no other way." So this stranger, the first thing is he gives me, I think it was 150 NT to take the bus, and then I have the map where I have to go, and I didn't have a reservation or anything.
This is just amazing, because you know that I would never encounter something like this, where someone, just gives me money and, hey, go ahead, don't worry about it. You don't have to think about paying me back.
Right.
But it seems like this kind of thing happens to foreigners all the time who come here to Taipei or Taiwan. But anyway, we're going to take a break here before we go on and learn more about your adventures in Taiwan and how you decided to stay on, okay?
Okay.
All right. Let's take a break and we'll be right back.